Hola and welcome to Lindita's Kitchen, and I am Lindita. What's on the menu today? Mexican tortas. It's a sandwich. And we're making it Torres style because I am using the chuck steak, and it's about 2.5 pounds, and I've got all the seasonings over here, and we're gonna take it over and I'm gonna put it all together. So let's get started, ¿no? Ándale, vamos. Okay, so we're gonna start out in my Dutch oven. I'm gonna add my meat, and you don't need any oil to this. Okay, so we're just gonna toss it in there, like that. And it's on really low. So we'll go ahead and start with our seasonings. And what you're gonna need is a tablespoon of the Knorr, and it's the beef Knorr. And we're gonna add that in. I'm gonna be mixing this, and it's warm water, by the way. It doesn't have to be hot, just warm. Okay, we're doing 1.5 teaspoons of the garlic powder. Stir that in like that, And 1 teaspoon of the cumin, comino cumin seasoning. Get it all out of there. And 1 tablespoon of Linditas salsa mix, and you can use the mild or the hot. It doesn't matter. I love my hot, so I'm adding that into it. Stir it up, give it that special flavor. You can smell the seasonings right now. And then just a little pinch of the black pepper. And I've got this onion over here that we're gonna add in halfway through the cooking session, while it's cooking. And we'll quarter that and toss it in. So now we're just gonna mix it and add it right to our meat. La la, beautiful. So now this is gonna cook at, I have it on a low, real low, for about heat level, for about 2.5 hours, and that's gonna just cook, and I'll show you. Toss in the onion here in a bit. So let's get started on our beans now, our refried beans. So I'm gonna clear this up and we'll get going. Ooh la la. This has been cooking for about 5 minutes right now, and I just wanna let you know, I added 4 cups of water, and then I added my seasonings, added it right in, and now I'm gonna go ahead and flip it. And you wanna do that do it a couple, like 3 or 4 times while it's cooking, because you don't want it to stick, okay? Now we're gonna go ahead and add, 1 onion, and I'm just gonna quarter it, just to give it that flavor. Perfect. We're just gonna stick them in there like that. And let it go to town. Yay. Okay, now to get started with our beans. We're gonna go ahead in a skillet. I have 1 teaspoon of the bacon. It's kind of like the gold, I call it, my gold, liquid gold. So you wanna add a little bit of bacon flavor to the beans. Get it nice and melted in there. And then these are my fresh beans, my pinto beans. And for this step-by-step recipe, if you want, you can go right to my website and just click on recipes or shows, cooking show, and it's under the inflation fighting breakfast, and it has step-by-step directions on how to make this fresh, delicious frijoles. Now we're gonna go ahead, add it to our skillet. And this is 2 cups. Of course, you can add more if you want. Let them go. We're gonna let them get heated up a little bit. Okay, so now it's been about a minute that it's been cooking up. And what I added was, yes, my teaspoon of the bacon grease. And I call it my bacon gold. That's what I call it. So now we're gonna start the process, and it's been at a low heat. Okay, so we're gonna start the mashing process and get them nice, now that they're nice and soft. And we're gonna refry them a little bit because we're gonna use that on our bread, on the sandwich. And we want them a little on the liquid side here. So let's mash them down. Oh yeah, this is the consistency you want. And if you want them really refried, just add more bacon grease to it, you know, and let them cook down a little bit. But for this recipe, we want them soft like this because we want it to spread on our bread. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this off and set it aside, and we'll get our bread ready. So now we've got our beans are all done. And like I mentioned before, you need to flip your meat, you know, a couple of times while it's cooking, and it's almost there. So I'm gonna just flip it. Ooh, the aromas are incredible. Ready, Ian?
Smell them.
Yay. Oh, that was wonderful. And now for our chipotle sauce. And this is my version, and that's why it's so special, because I'm gonna show you what it's all about. So I'm using 1 cup of the mayonnaise. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just dump that in right now. I don't wanna remove this. This is my little chopper. And we're gonna mix it all up. Let's see. Get as much as I can in there. And you can, you know, double this up if you want more sauce, but this will be enough for this recipe. Okay, so I'm gonna set this aside. And now on your chipotle, I just want to say, it comes in a can like this. You get it at your grocery store, chipotle, and it's got the chipotle and the sauce. So I'm gonna use 1. I'm gonna just grab 1, and if you want it a little on the spicier side, we'll go for it, right? So we're gonna toss that in, and then I'm just gonna drizzle some of the sauce in, and now say about a tablespoon, because I like it nice and spicy. I mean, it's not really spicy, it's just the flavor. It just gives it a little bit of a kick, and it's great. And then for our lime, I'm gonna just roll this up a little bit, give it a squeeze. I'm gonna cut it in half, and then we're gonna squeeze it in there. So that's all you need for this. How easy is that, right? So we're gonna add it, put it in our little, this is a big lime, but that's okay. We're gonna squeeze the juice right in. See? We'll do it again. 1 lime, I would say, and if you want to use half, it's your call, you know, but you want the full lime effect. Okay, now we're gonna put the little cover on and let it go to town. So I'm just gonna pulse it and get it really blended in there, and you'll see the texture that you want. When you're done, just in case. All right, so now I'm gonna just take a look and just kind of get a feel to see if it's nice and creamy. Yeah. Oh my goodness. You're gonna love this. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set this aside. I'm gonna put this away, and then we're gonna check on our meat because we're gonna start shredding and get the process going, okay? So hang in there. So our meat is done and it looks fabulous, but now I got to take it out and we're gonna let it rest. Okay, so here we go. Whoa. Gonna let this rest. It's got some nice juice in here too, so I'm gonna be putting it back later. Just so you know. And the onion is in there, so let's do that. Just gonna cover that for right now. Voila. Ooh. It's got the onions in there that I threw in. Oh, it's delicious. And we're gonna shred it, but we're gonna let it rest. And while it's resting, I'm gonna go ahead and just do our toppings. So what I like is I'm gonna be using 2 different types of onions just because I love the color and I love the flavor. And you know, that's what makes it unique too. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. I'm just gonna do thin sliced. I'm gonna cut them in half. I'm gonna use about a half of each, unless you want some more onions, right, Ian? All right, so we're gonna do this. I'm gonna just set that. I'm gonna cut this in half. Then we're gonna go ahead and just toss it in my little magic tray. Pretty fancy, right? So you can see, toss these in there. And our red onion. I love red onion. It's got nice flavor and the color is just amazing. So we'll do that. And I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do about a half as well. You can go thinner or thicker, but I like them just like this. Cut them in half and toss them in there. Perfect. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do my cheese because I already have my onion, my lettuce already, chopped up. I just shredded that, and then we're gonna go ahead and do the Oaxaca cheese. And what you want, you can get these also already shredded. You can get them in a package. I like to get mine pretty fresh. Just saying. I'm gonna move this aside here. Look how pretty that looks, and we'll mix them all up. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll just grate this down. And that was 10 ounces that I used, that I bought. Okay, and we're gonna be using that. And it's a melting cheese and it's so delicious. Oaxaca cheese. You can buy all this at your local grocery store or go to La Estación. That's actually where I got a lot of my products today too. So, okay, so we'll shred this up. Ooh, that meat looks awesome. I think we did a good job, Ian. And he loves his barbacoa, so that's why I decided to go this route. Okay, this looks pretty darn good. All right. Let's see. I was gonna say, here, Ian, catch. Woo, good catch, buddy. Awesome. See, this makes a lot of cheese too, so we'll go ahead and put it in our bowl here. That was a good catch. Should have seen him. He reached.
My mouth open.
Yeah, I tossed it right in there. Good job, E. It runs in the family, I'll tell you what. Perfect. And now for our tomatoes. You just need about 1, and you just slice them just the way you would. I'm gonna start at the bottom because I like the bottom. Nice thinly sliced. Ooh, that one half. Okay, sorry about that. That one's yours, Ian. Oh, that was pretty close. I know. I'm being careful. Don't worry. Whoops. I'm just going to toss that in here. And then I'm going to put it in I'm going to add it, put it to a plate here. So we'll be ready to go once. There you go. Okay, so now all our fixings are done, except our avocado. And I'm going to wait for the avocado at the end because I don't want it to turn brown. Okay, so we'll just slice it and we'll put it on. Okay, so now we'll get started with our meat. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just, either you can use your fingers. I think it's already, yeah, it's pretty cooled down. So you can shred it just like this. If it's too hot, but I don't think it's hot anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my fingers here. Oh, look how it just falls apart. Oh, it's beautiful. Okay, so I'm gonna continue shredding and then we'll get ready to go to the grill again, all right? Yeah, a little bit more there. Okay, so we've gone ahead and I've shredded it pretty well. And there's, try to remove most of the fat I did, and I thought I did, so I just took out some more. But there's some onion in there too, so, oh, and Ian had his taste. He approved. Ian approved, yay. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw this back into the skillet, into the juices to keep it nice and moist. You don't want it to dry up, okay? So let's go toss it in there. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and toss it into the juices. As you can see, oh my goodness, it is so moist. Let's get it all in there. Okay, perfect. Squeeze it around there, give it a swirl, let it dance. La, la, la. Beautiful. All right, so now let's get our little hot plate or our grill going. Okay, so now what you want to do is I'm using the telera roll bread, and you want to butter it, okay? Just like that. Now we're going to lay them flat. Get them nice and toasty. You can use a variety of different types of bread, but this is what actually goes with a torta. This is the best that I found. Okay, so we're gonna let those get nice and toasty, okay? And I'll show you in a few. Ooh, they're nice and golden, beautiful. Okay, we're gonna set these aside, just like that. I'm gonna put them over here. And now we're gonna start with our meat. You know, it's been resting, right? So we're gonna go ahead and put them on. Oh, yes. This one's for you, Ian, this side. Just so you know. Okay, so now what we want to do is I'm going to lower the heat down to real low because we're going to add our cheese. Our Oaxaca cheese. Yum. Let's melt them down a little bit. That looks great. Let me get my spatula over here. And you know what you can do? You can also cover them to speed up the process. You know, like that if you want. Okay, so it's okay. It doesn't have to all melt in there. The buns are nice and hot. Move it around. That looks beautiful. So while that's going, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually, my my beans have been resting here. So what I'm going to do is on the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and just put a little layer of frijoles. Those are pinto beans. I hope you know that. Just like that. That's the bottom. Let me get this. A little dab. Oh, that was, yeah. Perfect. Those are the bottoms. Perfect. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to turn these off. Now I'm going to just throw my meat and my cheese over the top. Beautiful. Set it aside. Grab the other one. The Oaxaca cheese is amazing because it melts so good, and it'll continue to melt once you put it in the bun. Get everything else going. I see. Whoa. There we go. Oh my God, can you taste that? I know. Your mouth must be watering because mine is, and I know Ian, his favorite. Oh, that's not gonna go on there. Okay, well now that we've got our beans and our beef and our cheese, let's take it over and put all the toppings together. Is your mouth watering? I know Ian's is. This is nice and steamy and warm. So now we're gonna start topping it off with our onions, okay, and my thinly sliced onions. I know, Ian did tell me that they were a little thick, but you know what? I love onions and I love my tomatoes, so, you know, you can cut them the way you want, you know, so I'll leave that one up to you. But I love the color and the flavor, so add as much as you want, okay, just like that. Then we're gonna go ahead and just top it off here with our thinly sliced tomatoes. Okay, we're gonna just use one thin slice because it's pretty big. All right. Your mouth, my mouth is really watering here, so I'm telling you, this is absolutely great. So we want to go ahead and add our avocado. Just nice slices, as much as you want. Aye. Okay, this one's going to be mine. Do you want another one, Ian? A big one? Yeah, that's my boy. Okay, so we're going to just go ahead and top that off. And then we've got, what do we have? Our lettuce. Beautiful. See? Oh, what happened here? Let me rinse off my hands. Oh my God, I got so excited there. So now the last thing that we have to do is what? Add our special sauce. I know, our chipotle sauce. Look how pretty it is. And you know, you can use a mayonnaise if you want, just plain, but we love this recipe is this is a hit. This is a hit already in my house. So we're gonna go ahead and just spread it on there. Yeah, just like that. Oh, can't wait to bite into it. This could be for lunch, dinner, whatever your call is. All right, so I'm gonna set this down and look how beautiful that is. Okay. Ooh, showcase. Hey, so hang in there and I'll be closing up this show. Alrighty. Yay, can't wait. What a beautiful ending was this, eh? Tortas. The Torres torta. It is so delicious. Oh, your mouth is going to be watering too, and I know it is now. And with this special sauce, oh, There's your chipotle sauce. Oh my gosh, it just gives it that little kick that you want, and it's so delicious. So I know I say delicious, delicious, because it is all delicious, and you're gonna serve it up for your next party. We're getting ready for a party here, so serve it up, take it to your friends. Now that we've got all the sports going on, the Avs. Oh, we're big hockey fans here, and the Broncos, of course, football and basketball. Serve it up at your next party. Have a little torta bar. Why not? And make it unique and make it different. And it's Linditas, Tortas. Again, I just want to say thank you so much for joining, and I hope you're enjoying all our shows because I sure love serving you. And until next time, salud, mis amigos.